There's a sealed court order out there right now, a federal judge's signature saying, do not discuss this case publicly. Yet your director of the FBI looked at that order and apparently decided his own social media caption game was more important. And of course, I am talking about Kash Patel, K-A$H Patel, who's running the most powerful law enforcement agency in the country. And this week, FBI veterans have said that Kash Patel may have broken rules and maybe even the law just to brag about how good he is at his job. So look, here's the background. The FBI, working with the Secret Service, broke up an alleged plot to attack that tacky UFC fight that was held on the White House lawn last month. 5 arrests. And frankly, it seems like genuinely good police work, shutting down a bunch of right-wing nut jobs. So, Kash had to tell the world about that very police work. Except the case was sealed by a federal court, almost certainly to protect that investigation and likely also to protect witnesses. That's nothing you can take lightly. Yet Kash Patel posted about it anyway. And he wrote that the result, quote, represented the best of investigative work. And he credited his team with protecting, quote, large gatherings like the historic UFC 250 fight. It was historic for sure. And look, I'm telling you, FBI veterans who actually ran cases like this are not happy about it. Lauren Anderson, who spent her career managing counterterrorism investigations, said the director can speak about what happens at the FBI because it's his organization. But there's an expectation that he respects ongoing investigations, and he doesn't compromise them by turning them into content. Another former agent, one that spent years doing the unglamorous work of tracking groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda without ever getting public credit for it, said this: the people who actually build these cases will never see their names in a headline, and they accept that because their job matters more than the spotlight. Kash Patel, he said, doesn't operate that way. Quote, his goal is to make himself look good. And I think that's his only goal. And look, if this were a one-off, fine. Everyone blurts something out on social media that they shouldn't. But you know that this is par for the course for Kash. And he has been in that building doing the same thing since day one. He's openly described promoting attention-grabbing content on social media as an intentional business decision to, quote, capture audiences. He disbanded the FBI's own public corruption squad, and now he's currently suing The Atlantic for $250 million because they reported that he has been an irregular presence at HQ and he's been showing up impaired. All of these allegations, the magazine still stands behind. And of course you saw it, he got caught on video chugging beer with the Olympic team on a government trip to Milan, months after he publicly criticized the previous director for similar travel. And frankly, his girlfriend committed what should be considered a hate crime with her rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner at that sparsely attended Freedom 250 event. But finally, even people that have previously had Kash's back inside the FBI have started to notice. Because reporting on his tenure describes a director who is, according to his colleagues, an irregular presence. And he's not ever in the field offices that are supposed to be running the FBI's day-to-day operations, which only compounds all of the bottlenecks that the Bureau was already dealing with before Kash got the job. Look, you cannot lead an agency that's built on discretion and patience while also angling for TikTok likes. And look, I'm already not a huge fan of federal cops, the FBI, but they do exist to protect actual investigations, actual witnesses, and actual due process. Yet our current director of the FBI just demonstrated again that he sees all of that as nothing more than a content opportunity. And just think about for a second what that does to the people that work for him. Because when you see that your boss is treating a sealed case as marketing fodder, the agents underneath him learn exactly what gets rewarded. And then, all of a sudden, we're going to start to lose that quiet, careful, by-the-book work that the FBI should be known for. So tell me, where's the line for you? When does a federal official's idea of transparency actually cross into compromising a real sealed case? Because I genuinely want to know where you draw that line. I get we've got to have information that gets out to the public, but at what cost? And for the agents who built the case, They're never going to get their names in a headline, yet their boss is actively farming his own headlines. That should bother you regardless of which party you voted for, because next time, that sealed case might be about something or someone that actually touches your life. And you would hate to see that case thrown out because Party Boy Kash wants more clout. And that's why I'm asking you to share this story, because I'm not running an active investigation into a White House plot, and someone needs to keep counting how many times this guy is willing to cross the line for a good caption.